The primary function of the Black Bloc uniform is tactical anonymity, dissolving individual identity into a collective force. This prevents targeted surveillance and subsequent legal action against specific participants. The uniformity also projects immediate solidarity, signaling to authorities that any action against one is an action against all. Effective formation movement relies on maintaining tight physical proximity, typically shoulder to shoulder, ensuring rapid response to police maneuvers. This cohesion is essential for executing dynamic tactics, like shielding vulnerable individuals or initiating a de-arrest. The bloc operates as a temporary autonomous zone of resistance within the protest space. The basic formation is the line, used for holding ground or advancing slowly against minimal resistance. When facing a police line, the bloc often adopts a wedge formation, designed to pierce or split opposing forces. The point of the wedge absorbs the initial impact, while the flanks provide lateral support and leverage necessary for sustained pressure. Shielding is achieved by positioning individuals with protective gear or banners at the front, creating a physical barrier against projectiles or batons. Movement must be synchronized, requiring participants to match pace and direction instantly, often communicated through hand signals or pre-arranged auditory cues, minimizing verbal communication, which can be intercepted. Non-verbal communication is critical for operational security and rapid tactical shifts. A raised fist often signals a halt or a call for attention across the formation. Tapping the shoulder indicates a directional shift or a need to tighten the formation immediately. The most urgent signal is the rapid downward sweep of the arm, indicating immediate dispersal or a severe threat, such as chemical agents or mass arrests. Signals must be relayed quickly from the front line to the rear, ensuring the entire formation reacts simultaneously. Maintaining silence also allows the bloc to better monitor police radio traffic or audible commands from opposing forces, providing a tactical advantage in anticipating movements. Police kettling or containment aims to isolate and process large groups for arrest. Countering a kettle requires identifying weak points in the police perimeter, often corners or areas where lines are thinly stretched or poorly reinforced. The bloc must execute a rapid, concentrated push against that weak point, using sheer mass and momentum to create a breach. If a breach is impossible, the formation shifts to a defensive circle, protecting those inside while waiting for external support or negotiating dispersal. Smoke devices or flares are sometimes deployed to obscure visibility during a breakout attempt, maximizing the element of surprise and confusion necessary for successful extraction. A de-arrest is the tactical extraction of an individual already in police custody, requiring high risk tolerance and precise timing. The decision to attempt a de-arrest depends on three factors: the severity of the arrestee's situation, the number of officers involved, and the proximity of the main bloc formation. Never attempt a de-arrest if the arrestee is already secured in a vehicle or if the risk of severe injury to the rescuers outweighs the benefit. The goal is not prolonged confrontation, but swift, overwhelming force applied to the specific point of contact, creating a momentary distraction, allowing the arrestee to be pulled back into the anonymity of the crowd.
The snatch is the fastest de-arrest method, used when an officer has only partial control of the arrestee, typically involving one or two officers. 2 or 3 individuals approach the officer rapidly from different angles. One person focuses on distracting or momentarily disabling the officer's grip, often by pulling on the officer's arm or shoulder. Simultaneously, the other rescuers grab the arrestee, focusing on pulling them away from the point of restraint, usually by the torso or legs. Speed is paramount. The entire action must conclude in under 3 seconds before backup officers can react. Once extracted, the arrestee must immediately be shielded and moved deep into the formation, changing their appearance if possible. When multiple officers are involved in an arrest, the wedge push creates the necessary space for extraction. A small, tight wedge formation drives directly into the immediate vicinity of the arrest, pushing officers back and disrupting their control over the individual. This maneuver requires coordinated physical effort and shields to absorb counter-pressure from the police line. Once the officers are momentarily displaced, the extraction team moves into the gap created by the wedge, securing the arrestee. The wedge then immediately reforms or pivots to cover the retreat of the extraction team, maintaining pressure until the arrestee is safely integrated back into the main body of the bloc. Following a successful de-arrest, the immediate priority is ensuring the extracted individual cannot be re-identified or re-arrested. This involves changing outer layers of clothing, removing distinctive items like hats or backpacks, and potentially applying new face coverings or switching existing ones. The arrestee must be moved away from the immediate area of conflict and surrounded by multiple layers of the bloc for maximum protection. The entire formation often executes a rapid tactical dispersal or a directional shift immediately after the action to confuse police pursuit and prevent retaliation against the group as a whole. De-arrests carry significant legal risk, often escalating charges from minor offenses to felony assault or obstruction of justice, even if no physical harm occurs. Participants must understand that the legal system views these actions as direct interference with law enforcement duties. The tactical benefit of freeing a comrade must be weighed against the potential for severe legal consequences for the rescuers. Solidarity protocols dictate that legal support and bail funds must be immediately available for anyone involved in high-risk actions. This collective responsibility mitigates the individual burden of engaging in confrontational tactics and ensures ongoing support. Effective dispersal is the final tactical phase, ensuring the bloc dissolves back into the general population without mass arrests. This involves breaking the large formation into smaller, pre-planned affinity groups that exit the protest area via different routes. Participants remove all black clothing layers and face coverings immediately upon leaving the immediate vicinity of the protest, blending seamlessly with non-protesting civilians. The goal is to transition from a visible, unified force back into anonymous individuals, preventing police from tracking and identifying participants after the event concludes, and minimizing the risk of follow-up arrests.